Hello and welcome. I'm Jamie, and we're joined by
Will.
Will, and we've got a great lineup today. Um, we have, as you can see, a lot of us repping the orange and blue of the representatives of Broncos country here. So we'll go around the horn real quick, at least the way they are on my screen. So we've got Scott Taylor, and huge Bronco fan representing over in the UK. Hello, Scott.
Hello, evening.
We have Mr. Tracy Hackler joining us representing the Roadshow crew and also huge member of Broncos country. Hello, Tracy.
Hello. How is everybody?
And then last, but definitely not least, representing from Central Ohio, Chris Goldline Cards. What's up?
That's right. They love the Broncos here in Ohio ever since, the drive in John Elway. I don't get mustard packets thrown at me at all anywhere I go. So it's cool.
Hey. You guys, I am so happy to have you guys on. Will and I, there we go. We got some Vance Johnson. Cool. I'm assuming that's Vance Johnson because that's your boy, Tracy.
Yes, it's Vance. I should have worn some Broncos apparel, but I'm leaving right after this. And so I felt out of place. So now I've got orange and blue in me and I'm good to go.
So you mentioned it earlier, but I think we should let the audience know. Tracy, where are you going?
I'm going to take in night 2 of WrestleMania at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. And I try to go every time it's close. I've been to one in Houston. I think this is my second one in AT&T Stadium. Just grew up a big wrestling guy. And I'm not nearly as in touch with it as I used to be, but still a fan of the spectacle that is WrestleMania. So going to check that out. It's too close not to.
Awesome. So you guys, quick, I kind of introduced, but quick whip around. I think most of the folks tuning in probably know you guys, but if we'll just go around the horn, introduce yourself, and then I've got a question, a would you rather question that you need to answer as you go around. Okay, so tell us maybe what are you collecting? Oh, favorite food. What are you excited about in the hobby for 2022? And the would you rather is, would you rather have the Batmobile or the DeLorean from Back to the Future? To Scott, I gave you no time to think about this.
I'd definitely go with pizza for my favorite food. That's my cheat meal of choice. After a game, I'll go with a pizza. 2022 hobby for me. I'm looking forward to chasing a Russell Wilson Bronco card, a good one. When I started the hobby last year, so 2020 was my first year, I set myself the goal of trying to get like an autograph from every product of the Broncos Tech first round. So I went Jerry Jeudy 2020. I've been chasing all his autographs. I've been doing PS2 this year. Obviously, we've given our picks away, so I'm going to spend 2022 on finishing the 2020 and 21 task, and then also try and save up or work something out to get a very nice Russell Wilson as soon as he comes into the product in the Broncos uni. And for me, I'm the Batmobile all day long, every day of the week.
Awesome. So if you had to go from one of the movie series, do you have a favorite of the Batmobiles?
Oh. That's tough. But I've always I think Christian Bale's are always going to be the benchmark for the Batman film. So probably have to go for one of the ones he drove on. They're my favorite Batman films, so I'd stay loyal to that.
That seems legit. All right, I'm going to reverse course a little bit here. So Tracy, you're going to have a little more time to think about it. So I'm going to come to Chris. Favorite food, something you're excited about in the hobby for 2022, and then the Batman DeLorean.
My favorite food is definitely tacos. And because I've got a 5-year-old, I also know what my 17th favorite food is and my 45th favorite food. So it's pretty awesome to get to know those kind of things. But any kind of tacos, lately with Lent, I've been eating a lot of fish tacos. But different taco places around. Just got to go try them. I mean, pizza every day of the week, but to me, it's just tacos are just it. I'm really looking forward to in 2022 is just this new adventure I'm on with a new job I've gotten professionally and personally, because I'm going to be able to open a lot of product. And I haven't been able to do that. You know, we were talking earlier before the show of how difficult it is just to even, get a hobby box for people to be able to afford it. And now working for a company where I'll be able to open boxes and learn and sell stuff and just know more about everything and help other people out is going to be awesome. And that whole Russell Wilson chase, I don't know if I can go with Vaughn up in Buffalo because I'm still a Vaughn Miller fan, but just, chasing the Russell Wilson cards, or maybe even Cortland Sutton this year, because I've been after Jerry Jeudy for a couple of years. Can't go with Fant. I got an Albert O 1-of-1 auto that, D Moose got me for Christmas. So I think maybe, chasing different guys like Cortland Sutton or Albert O might be my play, because everyone's going to be going after Russell Wilson. And then for me, it's got to be the DeLorean. I mean, I like to blow stuff up, but it'd be pretty cool to go back in time and take the little betting sheet and, play with your cat there. So that'd be cool too. If I could go, back in time 20 minutes and do that. But if I go back in time, I could do anything in any period and, stop this event or stop that event and just be the guy who messes things up and gets the blip. I wouldn't be like Marty McFly and all sly about it. The picture's definitely going to erase on me, but that's all right. So I think I'd go DeLorean.
Yeah, so it's funny you mentioned that, because as a card collector, the first thing I think about is going back to like Woolworths in 1952 and scooping up all the 52 Topps baseball and just setting it, in a storage or something, or some secret hidden place so I could come back and get it or whatever. I guess that was kind of the plot of the second Back to the Future, where he got the almanac and
I mean, I can remember going to Gill's card shop and Triple Play as a kid with my brothers and ripping those packs in store while the guy's blowing a giant cigar in your face, thinking nothing of it. And now that's no one could just blow a giant cigar in your face inside anymore, but it's just, such good memories. And yeah, set those cards aside, send them to grading before they're $100 a card, back before 2020, and have a good time, make your money, live in a giant mansion, buy an island somewhere, just disappear.
It sounds like you've thought about this maybe a little bit.
I've tried to move to Aruba 6 or 7 times, but they don't want to have me there. So, it's all good.
Awesome. Tracy, what about you?
I'm kind of aligned with Scott on pizza, barbecue chicken pizza specifically. I'm a huge fan of that. I could eat it just about every meal. I'm a real creature of habit too, so I never tire of things I love. So barbecue chicken pizza, definitely. The original Batmobile from the Burt Ward, Adam West days, the 60s. My brother and I grew up on that. I've got a Hot Wheel of it in my bookshelf in there. And the original Batmobile for sure. I'm excited about getting these other 3 shops under the Roadshow Cards umbrella open. We're so close right now. Probably within the next 30 to 45 days, the other 3 will be open. We'll have 4 stores going across the country. So I'm looking forward to seeing kind of what that looks like and what it feels like. And then, I've already started chasing a bunch of Russells. I had 1 Russell autograph before he became a Bronco, and now I've got 7. I'm just going crazy. And it's, to Scott's point as well, it's not as fun because he's not in a Broncos uniform yet, but when he is, that'll be a definite must-have, mem and auto. And then I'm real big on UFC stuff too, so I've been collecting a lot more UFC. Yuri Prochazka primarily, but trying to track down the GOATs too. Autos of Adesanya, and he's really the one that I need right now, Adesanya, and I would think I would have most of the top current GOAT guys.
That's awesome. All right, Will, what's your favorite food, and what would you pick?
My favorite food is steak and potatoes, and I am picking the DeLorean.
You're time traveling?
Yep.
All right. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's no wrong answer there, really.
I do like that. All right, maybe our 5th guest is leaving. I'm sure he'll be back just to annoy me. So we've got, obviously we've kind of dipped our toes into the topic here, and that is the ever-changing landscape that this NFL offseason has brought. This is maybe the wildest offseason I can remember. And maybe it's recency bias, I just don't remember this many massive deals and trades and signings and it's almost hard to keep up with what's going on. So I guess first and foremost, and we talked about this a little bit as far as our collecting habits, but I'm going to send this one to you first, Tracy. But Russell Wilson in the AFC West. What does this do with a division that's already got the top dog, and then the other two teams made moves too?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of experts who cover the NFL for a living who've said the AFC West might now be the greatest division in NFL history. And I don't know if that's recency bias as well, but it was already stacked with Herbert and with Mahomes, and to a lesser extent, Derek Carr. And now you've got Russell in the mix. It's going to be a bloodbath in that division, I think. And I don't know if it's mathematically possible. I haven't done the breakdown yet if all four teams can make the playoffs, but it's going to be a shame, I think, if all four don't make it. And then part of me also thinks, which one of those teams is due for a letdown? Because it happens every year now, it seems, in the NFL. One team's high, then they're down, and then they're back up. And I don't know if that's – but, man, they've all gotten so much better. I mean, you can't really say that about a lot of other divisions where every team, with the possible exception of the Chiefs because they lost some weapons, but the Raiders absolutely got better. The Broncos absolutely got better, and the Chargers absolutely got better. So must-see TV, probably Sunday night flex games every week of the season. I don't know. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I know for us as Bronco fans in the Midwest, when Peyton was here, the Broncos were on TV. We had no need for the Sunday ticket. I've had to have the Sunday ticket the last 6 years in order to watch the Broncos play football. And that was, if it weren't for guys like Philip Lindsay for some of those years, I don't know. I was ready to just free up my Sundays. It was pretty frustrating. So, Scott, what do you think? What do you think about all this movement in the AFC West?
I love it. It's good because a couple of my friends are Raiders fans in the UK, so we have the banter already. But obviously, I've took quite a bit of stick the last few years for our quarterback options. So to take Russell, I'm just over the moon with that. Just to give us that chance. But no, it's stacked. I think when Tracy says about the surprise, everyone's getting better, and like you say, you touched on it, I don't think the Chiefs are, and I think obviously Tyreek Hill is going to be a bit bigger of a loss than people might think. He's Mahomes' go-to guy, the chuck it in the air guy, and I think if anything, the one surprise I could say is that the Chiefs are going to be a bit worse off than people realise, because the defence have got strong. Obviously, Khalil Mack's back. We've took Gregory. He's going to get some more heat probably this year than he's ever had before in his career.
So what's your thoughts, Chris?
I'm right on the same issue as Scott. Is every team got better, and except for maybe the Chiefs. You got the man in Mahomes, but that's it. In Kelsey, they don't have that great of a defense. Denver's got the best defense in the division, maybe, top 5 in the NFL. Pass rush is going to be amazing. Secondary is going to be incredible. You've got Surtain who can stop Devontae Adams, who can stop, the big wide receiver guys. Can we stop a tight end? Because we've been getting destroyed since Tony Gonzalez and Antonio Gates every Sunday by a tight end. Darren Waller's putting up career numbers versus us. We just cannot stop a tight end. So maybe we get somebody who can mark up on Kelsey. The AFC West, like Tracy said, could be the best division of all time. I mean, no one saw the Raiders get in the playoffs last year, and then they did. The Chiefs, we just wanted to crown them for the next 8 years as AFC West champs. Now it's like you got the best quarterback. You probably don't have the best roster. And then, Justin Herbert and the up and coming Chargers, like, just how do you bet against someone like that? Like what Joe Burrow did with Cincinnati. All of a sudden he got the whole country rallying around him for a playoff run. And who says Herbert can't do that next year? Like, exact same circumstances going through. So I'm just really excited to actually have competitive football. And, maybe I'm still going to get the Sunday ticket, but to actually watch on, CBS this year at 4:00 instead of watch it on a stream where you can't get on Twitter or anything and look because you're 35 seconds behind. So it had already happened in real time. Excited for that.
Yes, I think this one of the sneakier moves was the Raiders getting Chandler Jones. I think that's going to be one that maybe didn't get all the headlines, but him and Max Crosby, that's a problem. That's a big problem. And you've got Bosa and Khalil in San Diego or Los Angeles, excuse me. It's just it's wild. And Devontae Adams going to be a problem when you've got guys like Waller and to loosen that up, and Josh Jacobs. Like you said, Tracy, I think it's a bloodbath. I think there's going to be, 11-6 is likely to be division winner. And I think that's where you don't see that all the teams get in, is because I think the division winner is going to have 1 or 2 losses potentially. I mean, it's going to come down to some tiebreaker stuff. And you're going to have some other divisions that are maybe not as bad, like, the South, and they get a couple teams that don't have much, the Colts could bounce back. That division's really weak. So it's interesting. The AFC is tilted on the NFC or AFC North and the AFC West. I think the East is up for grabs. I think the Dolphins did some great things this offseason. I still not so sure on their trigger man. Tua is the right guy to do that. So I don't know. I think that's been interesting. So outside of the AFC West, what do you think the biggest offseason move was that we've seen so far? Where are we going? Who's going?
Tracy.
All right. Will's got Tracy.
Thank you, Will. I mean, the Deshaun Watson to Cleveland thing came out of nowhere, kind of, because he was out on Cleveland and then he was all in on Cleveland. And his off-field or potential off-field issues notwithstanding, he's one of 2 or 3 most talented quarterbacks in the league right now. He's got a year less wear on him because he didn't play last year. So that move was huge. I'm biased toward the Russell Wilson news, but that one could have ramifications well into the postseason. And it's also going to create some kind of mess with him and Baker in the same quarterback room. I'm assuming Baker will not be there by the time the meetings and practices start to matter. But Deshaun Watson to Cleveland is probably the biggest move outside the West that I can think of.
Where are we going? Who's up?
Scott Taylor.
Yeah, I think Tracy's hit it with Watson. I think it on the Wilson one. I think it's mad what's going on in Seattle. I think they're in an absolute massive rebuild there, and seeing obviously the news today that a DK Metcalf, they're sort of saying if the right sort of offer come in, could he still go as well? So that's mad. I think the other big thing is just Aaron Rodgers committed. I think obviously the last couple of years has been a big question mark obviously over Aaron Rodgers' head, and we was all probably praying he was coming to Denver at one point. Looked like it was a good chance of happening. And when that went dead, it was literally within the space of no matter time at all. And we announced Russell Wilson, so we didn't have to sob for too long. But I think the fact that he's committed to Packers for the significant future, knowing obviously Devontae Adams has gone, I think that's obviously big for Green Bay, but he's going to have to find some targets there because obviously they've lost Valdez Scantling as well now. So Be interested to see what the Packers do. But obviously, it's a pretty heavy wide receiver draft class. They'll probably take a few in the draft. But yeah, I can't disagree with Tracy. You're gonna have to go with Deshaun Watson. That's massive trade, and that guaranteed money has just annoyed a lot of general managers around the league, as I've been watching on the NFL Network.
Yeah.
So Chris, what do you think?
I'm going to go with Mitch Trubisky. I saw John's comment in there, and it's what I'm going with. All right, look, hear me out before you laugh, Tracy. I promise I've got a point here. So he was in Chicago in the worst offensive line we've seen in the last 10 years. Look what Justin Fields did last year. Justin Fields went to Ohio State, broke every record. Everybody wanted him in Denver. They were mad when we took Surtain. After last season, like, okay, glad we got Surtain because Fields is terrible. Justin Fields is not a terrible quarterback. Chicago is terrible. So Trubisky plays in this offense that has no talent, terrible offensive line. It's like, let's write him off. What is the number 2 overall pick, I think? Goes to Buffalo. Learns behind Josh Allen. Learns behind amazing quarterback coach. It's like, okay, I learned some things here. Now we're going to go to Pittsburgh, where we've got talent on our offense. We've got a great structure. We've got a great organization. We've got a great program. We've got a good thing going on here. And he can beat out the other 2 Jack in the Box they've got over there. I mean, he's playing with a ham sandwich and a cheese cracker. So, Mitch Trubisky has talent in Pittsburgh. He's got what he needs to succeed. So if he's not succeeding in Pittsburgh, he's not succeeding in the NFL. And same with Justin Fields. Like, you have nothing in Chicago. I'm looking forward to nothing out of you this season. In the AFC or NFC North, like Scott was talking about, Rodgers is coming back. Okay, the same thing like we both talked about. Rodgers came back and Devontae Adams left. Like, as soon as that Rodgers deal came, said, okay, the lay fan says, we see all the information where it says Rodgers and Devontae Adams want to play together. They want to do this. They want to do that. They're best friends. They talk to each other. Okay, Rodgers coming back. Great. Devontae Adams gets the franchise tag. Okay, we'll work on an Adams deal. Oh, Adams is gone. But then it's like, oh, Rodgers knew he was gone before he signed with Green Bay. The next news that came out like 2 days later. So everybody's, playing these games that we don't even know about as the lay fan. They're miles ahead of what the average human being knows. And I think that's huge news that Rodgers just comes back. Like Scott said, they're committing to Aaron Rodgers. Okay, what happens with Jordan Love now? You got Kirk Cousins coming back, like K-Dub said here, and the Bears are just they're terrible. And Detroit, just come on now. I mean, the NFC North is not good. AFC West, very, very good. But watch out for the Steelers, because like Jamie and Will said, the AFC is the West and the North. So,
what do you think?
I think it's Tyreek Hill going out of Kansas City, because he was kind of following off of what Devontae Adams did with him getting a humongous contract, and the Kansas City was like, you're not getting that. So him going to the Dolphins is big deal.
It's okay with me. You can get him out of the AFC West.
Yeah, absolutely.
See you in the playoffs. I'm fine with him being gone.
And to Scott's point earlier, like Tyreek Hill, he maybe more than anything else, other than Travis Kelce being profusely talented, he helped Travis Kelce get wide open a lot of times, because he would take the top off the defense and there was nobody underneath to cover Kelce. That's how many times have we heard an announcer say, how does the biggest man on the field get that wide open? Well, Tyreek Hill, that's why, because he's taking 2 or 3 guys with him, and that middle of the field is wide open, and Mahomes can throw a no-look pass or an underarm pass or a left-handed pass to Kelce, and he's wide open. So I think he's going to miss, much like Rodgers is going to miss Devontae a great deal, and vice versa. I think Devontae will miss Rodgers as well. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to really miss Tyreek Hill.
I'm in the same boat. He provides something. I think if the reports out of Miami are accurate, and you've got the guy, he was in San Francisco, right? The new Dolphins coach. So them talking about trying to get him Hill the ball more like Deebo Samuel, and they're different players. Deebo's considerably bigger, but I think yeah, you can use a guy like Tyreek even more to supplement, because the running backs are okay, but if you can offset some of that, that's gonna free it up. And maybe that's how you overcome the Tua disadvantage. At least the way I see it is, maybe that helps him develop and get better. But I think Miami on the other coast was the other team that made the most. And then the other thing I think was Brady's retirement, unretirement. And then that I have to think that Bruce Arians, that's why Bruce Arians stepped away. I think that relationship was broken, and I felt like there was something there that maybe they just didn't jive anymore together. And now that Arians is gone, that's big for Tampa, but that's the NFC. It's kind of like the AFC during the 80s and 90s, I think, right now.
Yeah, it didn't matter. It was going to be Cowboys, Niners.
So, changing it just a little bit. We've got less than a month till the draft. Curious to your thoughts as to, I think a lot of the things we've talked about on this that haven't been resolved, we might see. I think if there's a DK Metcalf to get moved, it's probably going to happen that week, would be my guess, as people are trying to sort through their draft boards. I'd be curious to hear like who you think is going to go number one, or a player to keep an eye on
And then will
in the
go,
draft. Yep. And then what was your question, Will?
Will QB go top 10?
So that, I think there's some things that teams always get desperate and reach. So there's a little food for thought. And here's the crazy part. The draft is in Vegas. Like, when they did the draft in Nashville, I think that was the coolest. Just having it up and down Broadway was a pretty cool a way of hosting a draft. So I'm real curious to see what Vegas does. It's either going to be epic or an epic disaster, I feel like, and it'll never come back there. It can only go one of two ways, I feel like.
Yeah.
So Will, who I think it's Chris's turn. I think we need to hear from Chris first this time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be absolutely amazing in Las Vegas. I don't think there's any way Las Vegas drops the ball on this. Like, I was not a fan of hockey or football going there. I just thought there would not be people interested enough in that town, and I was so wrong. The Vegas Knights hockey is a spectacle to go to. The new stadium for the Raiders is incredible. They're bringing Formula One racing next year. The draft is just going to be awesome. I just don't see how Las Vegas can drop the ball on this. I mean, like, Cleveland did it. Detroit did it. New York did it. Nashville did it. And Las Vegas is absolutely going to do it. There's going to be so many rules and regulations. The NFL is going to have make a spectacle of it. And I think the draftees are just going to have so much fun. Obviously, I think they're going to have things a little under wraps, with most of them probably being 21, 22-year-old human beings who are also young men who have desires and cravings to do fun things in a city like that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But a guy like Aiden Hutchinson from Michigan, he would never do anything like that, especially if he's going number 1 overall to Jacksonville, because Jacksonville has done some moves this year too. I was completely just kind of just kidding with the Mitchell Trubisky thing. Obviously it's not a huge story, but I really believe in what I said. But Jacksonville has made a lot of moves. Okay, last year the whole Urban Meyer situation was a train wreck. Obviously that didn't work out. They finally have a coach not named Byron Leftwich, who I thought they should have grabbed while they could. They've added a lot of talent. They're getting NTN back. Trevor Lawrence is coming back, and he was, the next coming of everybody. You had, Elway, you had Luck, you had Trevor Lawrence, like the three biggest, quarterback names coming out of college and probably all of our lifetimes. You all are probably about, my age, but I think Jacksonville is the place you want to go to. They've got that number 1 pick. They need an edge rusher or an offensive lineman. So I think they go Aiden Hutchinson. If not, Treved Walker. Those are the two for the defensive line. I think you win games, offensive and defensive line, and Jacksonville needs that. Or nice. one more thought real quick. they trade back and stockpile more picks but this is also the year where quarterback's not going first overall. So who's really trading up to get Aiden Hutchinson? Vaughn went number 2 behind Cam Newton, but was somebody really trading up to get Von Miller? But then if he's a Von Miller type player who's really disruptive for 14, 15 years, Pro Bowl, all pro, go in the Hall of Fame, then maybe you do. I don't know.
And I think that's one of the spots where the draft, it depends on which edge guy you like, because it is relatively deep on the top part of edge rushers. There's I think 4 or 5 difference makers on the edge this year, and I think that's where you're going to see in those top 10 picks. I think you're going to see 3 or 4 of those edge guys gone quick, a couple corners.
And then
I think there's a tackle or 2 that might sneak in, and then someone's going to reach on a quarterback.
Maybe even 2.
Yeah,
always. They always reach on quarterback. Quarterbacks. I'm sorry.
Who do you think of the QBs? And I think once Russell Wilson came to Denver, I stopped paying as much attention because it was like, okay, we don't have to go through this yet another year of worrying about can the guy behind center fog a mirror or not. We've got someone that actually can play the position. So I haven't been paying as much attention as I normally do to that spot. But it sure seems like it's whoever had the most recent pro day is the one that's getting the most buzz. So sorry, Tracy, go back to what you were getting at.
Well, first of all, I agree with Chris. I think Aiden Hutchinson's the pick. Just a huge big school career at Michigan, and the Jags have devoted a lot of capital to the offensive side of the ball in recent seasons, and now they're going to focus on the defense, I think. I mean, he's kind of a no-brainer, I think, at number 1. But the other guy that Chris mentioned is also Trevon. Quarterback, I think you're probably looking at 2 guys, at least is what I've read and seen. Malik Willis, the kid from Liberty. That's a real feel-good story, too. Such a good guy. And then Kenny Pickett, who everybody's had the Broncos taken forever. Love him because of the fake slide thing. I still don't know if he planned that, but it was remarkable if he did. One of the greatest moves I've ever seen. And I would draft him based only on that move. But we'll have to
get that versus Pittsburgh.
Did he? The fake slide?
Yeah, I think it was Pittsburgh. It might have been Dallas. It was like he just laid down and then no, okay, I'm gonna get up and throw a touchdown. So it was awesome. That's exactly what I thought of when I saw that play.
It was so great, so good. But to your point, Jamie, about how quarterbacks, nobody's talking about quarterbacks for a month out, and then you get about 2 weeks closer, and all these teams start panicking, even in a bad quarterback class, and quarterbacks start shooting up the board, and you're like, no, trust your instincts and your scouting people that are telling you a quarterback's not going in the top 10 or top 20 or whatever, and they always reach for him. And Blake Bortles comes to mind. Yeah, he got to the AFC Championship game, but he was a guy nobody was talking about, and then all of a sudden he was the number 1 guy, and it's just teams panic and start reaching for the quarterback, and we kind of have been there as Broncos fans with Paxton and Osweiler, and the list goes on and on. Drew Lock, I still like Drew Lock a lot, and I hope that he has a great career in Seattle. But quarterbacks are going to start rising on the board, and you're going to be like, what? So it's going to happen.
So Scott, I don't want to diminish any of your knowledge, but I don't know how much college football you watch and how much draft prep you do, but you have any thoughts, any surprises, anyone that, kind of someone that you've got an eye on? Obviously we don't have to worry about day 1. Those picks are gonzo, which is fine. So what are your thoughts, Scott?
I definitely don't watch nowhere near as much college football as what you guys will do. I normally look into it a bit more, but as soon as we took Russell Wilson, I sort of give in on the draft a bit. But we have 12 of us in a UK group, and I think Gary's in here now who's a Jags fan, so he's going to be excited to see what they do. I just think, obviously, it's going to. I want to see what goes on with Baker Mayfield and obviously Jimmy G in San Fran. Obviously, Tracy likes Lock. I'm not a big Lock fan. I can't see Seahawks going in week one as they're with him as their QB1. I just don't think they can do it. They might do it, but if not, I think they're definitely taking a QB as one of their early picks in the draft. I think they'll do that. But yeah, I'm just really chilled on the draft. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to take in Vegas, see what happens. Hopefully there's loads of actions. But as a Broncos fan, I think we can all watch it just with a smile on our face. And I'm not too sure where we need to strengthen now, which is a major priority. I think you guys have been more clued upon me where we need to strengthen and get some more depth. Maybe a bit more on, I don't know, really get a bit more rushing maybe. I'm not sure. Obviously, I was hoping Von had come back. Von didn't come back. We took Gregory, who was obviously very good. So, yeah, I'm just happy to have Russell.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same thing. I kind of ebb and flow on the draft. Locally here, being in Central Iowa, the kid that I'm keeping an eye on, and I think he's going to go in the back half of the first round and end up in a spot that's going to be really good, or you're going to have someone move back in to come get him, is Breece Hall, the tailback out of Iowa State. It has been such a pleasure watching that kid run the last few years. He has Eric Dickerson tendencies, and I know that's high praise, but he's one of those long striding running backs where it doesn't even look like he's moving, and all of a sudden he's gobbling up, 5 yards a pop when he hits full speed. And he has that ability to be patient and then hit it almost. And again, I'm comparing to a couple guys that are in the Hall of Fame, but TD had that same thing where TD could wait and then hit the hole, and he knew exactly where he was going. I think Breece Hall can have a Najee Harris type impact going to the right team. So he's the one that I'm kind of paying attention to on day one, just because he's a local guy. Unfortunately, my Buffaloes they'll have some guys maybe in day 3 go, but that's the one I'm really trying to keep an eye on is where does Breece Hall end up? I think he's clear cut RB1, but there's a couple other guys. I think he's well-rounded enough. He can block. He can catch out of the backfield. Fantastic runner. So that's the one guy I'm kind of trying to keep an eye on as we go into the draft. But Chris, I would agree. I think Hutchinson's going number 1. I feel like that. The other thing, again, is you're going to get all these people jumping and the QB is going to go too high. But then the next thing is, who's the faller? Who's the one that's in the green room? It happens every year. Locke was one of those guys. Aaron Rodgers, he was in the green room for the whole time. And as Scott said, I think that the Jimmy G and the Baker Mayfield situations, I think they got to get resolved draft week. I think some teams have really got to think like, oh boy, is this what we're doing going into next year?
The Broncos have done for 6 years.
Yeah. But the Browns, I feel like the Browns totally shot themselves in the foot because now they've got no
Browns
leverage with Baker.
Butchered it.
What do you get? What are you going to get out of that?
It's such a Browns thing to do, to get that player, Deshaun Watson, and still butcher your quarterback situation. It's amazing.
And that's, there's a whole, and I know when we mentioned it earlier, Amy in the comments just said meh. And I know that Watson, I was very glad that he is not anywhere near Dove Valley. I was totally okay with that. I know there are charges and whatnot, but I don't know, Scott, you're a professional athlete. I don't think professional athletes let 22 different massage therapists work on them, because you get one bad one and you're screwed up. If they don't understand what you need out of massage therapy, then you can get a bad massage therapist and you're worse off than when you came in. So that's kind of weird to me. That was kind of what I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I think obviously it's even bigger over there. Obviously the NFL over there is like the Premier League soccer. football over here. And obviously there's a lot of reports, a lot of media, but the biggest thing is that he's been found not guilty with everything what's gone on. And obviously there's a lot of journalism and reports going in, but until there's proof or something happens, I'm always one of these who's in a lot smaller sense of the word in my sport, doing it as a professional. It'll be interesting to see what comes out, but I think the Browns must know he's innocent. Take that punt, spend all that money. They must have a big insight to what's going on there and know that he's probably not guilty. And it's obviously a lot of smoke without fire behind it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. The criminal court all seems
It's all done. Yeah,
I think at best it's really bad optics to try and introduce that to your team, even if there's all sorts, and I'm going to keep it PG here, but there are all sorts of people, whether you're a professional or not, that let their freak flag fly, so to speak. And maybe that's it. Maybe he's into different things, but I think that quarterback room, it's changed. I don't see any, Tracy, you mentioned, I don't see any way that they're in the same room together. Baker will be gone. Where to be determined, but yeah.
I mean, he's a tough situation too because he's a gamer. Absolutely, Baker is, and he was injured for a lot of last year. I don't know what he's got. I never thought he was a number 1 overall pick. He hasn't looked like a number 1 overall pick, but he tried to write his own letter out of town, and they said, "Nah, we're not moving you." And then they signed a shot. It's like, what in the heck is going on? But not our zoo, not our circus, or not our, what is it? Not our circus, not our zebra or whatever. Like, go handle your thing. We have George Payton and Nathaniel Hackett, so we're good.
Yeah, and have you guys seen the hype videos that Russell Wilson's been putting out from his house?
Yeah.
That makes my heart sing. Holy cow. And watching Garrett Bowles shirtless playing pickleball, that wasn't something I thought I needed to know about, but
you did. You needed to know about that.
Here we are. And that right there takes me back to Peyton Manning and just being a professional at your job and breaking it down and flying your guys out to your house to hang out, to have fun, but to work. And Broncos country was all apoplectic when Jerry Jeudy wasn't at the first throwing session and kind of jumped all over him. And then, it's because he had something to take care of. So, I love seeing that camaraderie getting built. And I do think one of my other Bronco fans here locally said that I like Russell Wilson, the player, but he's a little corny for me. And I was like, okay. I mean, even if he's corny, lead away, man. I didn't quite know how to take that. I was like, have you seen what we've been rocking the last 6 years? Like,
all he does is write books, go to children's hospitals, donate to charity, marry a supermodel entertainer, have a bunch of kids, go to church on Sundays, and be a model human being citizen. That's corny. Sign me up every day of the week. I want him on my team. I want my kid to be like that. I want my daughter to marry a man like that. And I wish I could be like that myself. I'm corny then. I'm corny.
Yeah.
I know. That's kind of what I was like.
Yeah.
I'm corny. I'm corny with you. I'm here for all of it. I am here for all of it. Yeah. And did you see what he did in Super Bowl 48 against us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm here for it. But it is like we were so spoiled for kind of some eras, right? John Elway spoiled us, and then TD came in, and John Elway really spoiled us. And then we kind of had a lull with Greasy and Plummer and Farrat and just a bunch of other spares. And then Peyton came in, and we could take a deep breath and be like fun fans again. And then we had this 6-year black period, and it's so refreshing to immediately not have to worry about, oh crap, what are we going to do this year for quarterback? I think Bridgewater can do it, or I think Locke can do it, because you want to be optimistic, knowing in your heart knowing in your head that he can't, but in your heart that he can, and then you're always disappointed. So having Russell is such a relief.
It's just a peace of mind, that what you're getting. You have another future Hall of Famer who has at least 5 years, and then some. Again, I just enjoy it. Someone's like, "Well, he's going to command a big contract." Okay, it's not my money. Like,
pay the man.
Let's get there when we need to get there, and if he's this community pillar type guy. Yeah, Peyton Manning still lives in Denver.
Loves it.
So,
and he wants to own the team.
Right.
Yeah. Let him buy it, not Antonio Brown.
That's why he's a Bronco and not a Colt.
Yeah. I mean, hey, look at the talent they put around Russell Wilson too. You got Pookie coming back. I mean, who knows about Melvin Gordon, but you got Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, and KJ Hamler, and Albert O to throw to. Like, okay, we got 5 potential Pro Bowlers this year. Like, my Jerry Jeudy collection, if it rivals Cooper Kupp collection for my kid, like, I'm buying myself a new Suburban in December with my Jerry Jeudy cards over here. Come on.
Blue and orange.
Unbelievable.
There you go.
Absolutely. I'll drive it out to Denver every Sunday too. It's only like a 36-hour trip from here. It's cool.
When you've got a head coach who obviously believes in him and a new OC, and they're going to build their offense around what Russell does best, and what those receivers do best. And man, I can't wait. I just can't wait.
So,
and then,
sorry, Will.
And then going back to the Baker, John said Panthers maybe. So like the first game, Cam Newton coming back, he was super good against the Cardinals, and then he just kind of was not the greatest for the rest of the season. And so I think that Baker Mayfield could go to the Panthers because they need a quarterback. That they're not going to have Cam Newton because of what he did in the first game that he was back. They're going to try and get someone else who can throw the football and doesn't want to run it every single time.
Yeah. I think the Panthers go as McCaffrey goes, and if he's injured, then that seems to be the end of that, and not having a weapon like that on the field, which with McCaffrey bringing a Colorado kid, and it's kind of cool following him, Austin Eckler, and Philip Lindsay as the 3 guys. They were all in high school at the same time in Colorado, and seeing Christian get dinged up these last few seasons, he's so much fun to watch, but poor kid just cannot seem to stay healthy, which I just don't. Carolina, and I'm not so sure about Matt Rule. I don't know that he's cut out for long for the NFL, but I guess we'll see. I didn't realize that the Panthers were 3-0 to start last year, and it was 2-12 for the rest of the year.
Yeah, remember Sam Darnold had found the secret formula, and then because they were talking about the Broncos and the Panthers is like, man, they've turned the corner, and then then we got Fangio'd. But Will, I think we can all agree that the reason Cam has never been the same is because the Broncos broke him in back-to-back games. Super Bowl 50, and then the season opener the following season broke him. Yeah. Broke him. Yeah. And he's never been the same.
It's a shame.
It is.
And
but
then
he didn't want any part of that.
So if they're gonna have anybody, it's probably gonna be Baker.
It might be. That's
very well could be
prediction.
Hey, Rule is a old Texas high school and Texas college coach. He would love Baker. I'm sure they have a history of crossing paths in the Texas high school scene.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I sent out a message. I don't know if we'll get enough people, but it makes the odds even better. So we were going to do a little giveaway for Buck City Breaks. We're going to give away $50 break credit with Buck City, And the qualification for those of you listening, those of you tuning in, is your best dad joke. And you need to come in with one dad joke. So you got to think about this for a little bit. And then it needs to be PG. And the young gentleman sitting to my right will be the judge of that. So we're going to leave that open for a few minutes, and hopefully the people that maybe bounce back in. But if not, the handful of folks that are watching are going to have a really good shot at getting $50 over with my BCB friends, and we'll let that sit in the comments, and then we'll let Will read them and kind of get reaction as those come in. So that has started. If you'd like to drop your dad joke and be eligible for a $50 Buck City Breaks gift card / break credit, drop your dad jokes in there. Chris, you got a good dad joke?
Chris is on mute.
Sorry, I was trying to send a tweet out to get more people involved.
I appreciate
while you were doing that. So I mute myself. So that's what I got going on here. Hang on a second. My best dad joke of all time is just my favorite is knock knock.
Who's there?
Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Moo.
All right, you're getting the crowd warmed up.
All right, I got one more for you, right? You know what? I'm not going to tell that joke. It's not. I just remember that in my head, so we're not going to tell that.
Chris was going PG-13 on it.
Yeah, more like PG-12. Yeah, 13.
PG-12. Yeah, you got a year and a half before he can hit PG-12. I think one of my favorite ones. So I do every day on the board in my classroom. There's a dad joke of the day.
Yeah, you have some good ones, dude.
I can tell because I used to be they would have to ask me the punchline, but I just would leave the punchline. I've been leaving the punchline up there, and the eye rolls and the groans that I get from the kids let me know. Yep, that was a good one. That was a good one. So, yeah, that's some of my favorites. My room's adjacent to the math teacher. So one of my favorite ones is 5 out of 4 people have trouble with math. Subtle, but
I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
I'm one of those people.
Tracy, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a dad joke or just a dumb joke, but the one that used to be my default was, what do you get when you cross an elephant with a rhino? Elephino.
Elephino.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I like that. So, Tracy and Chris, and maybe even Scott. So, in Central Iowa, I didn't grow up with this. In Colorado, you went trick or treating on Halloween night. That's when you went out. Here they have something called Beggar's Night, which is the night before, and as part of that, they're supposed to tell you a joke. So that's always one of my favorites because to get candy, they're like, "Do you have a joke?" And so the kids are supposed to tell you jokes, and
that's awesome.
There's some good ones that come through. I still don't understand why it's not on Halloween.
They have ours on the Thursday before Halloween because they don't want it on a Saturday night if it's on the weekend, because Ohio State football is such a big thing in Central Ohio. No, I'm being like 100% serious.
No, I believe you. I believe
that
you.
There are intoxicated drivers who will be driving around and not see kids crossing the street. So
yeah,
if Halloween's on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, it's on that day. If it's on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's always on the Thursday because they don't want, inebriated drivers driving around and hitting kids. So yeah, they also call it Beggar's Night here. We don't have to tell jokes. It's, knock, knock, trick or treat, smell my feet, give me something good to eat. If you don't, I don't care. I'll pull down your underwear. Stuff like that.
PG-12.
PG-12.
He says PG-12.
Will's
and
awesome.
One of his first comebacks is that's what she said. And
oh yeah. Hey, Michael Scott. So
are they meant to be writing the jokes in the comments now? Then.
Yeah, I'm waiting for. We got the crowd warmed up here, but I haven't seen much. Scott,
I saw Marks in the chat earlier. Big Marks from BCB pulled me when he was at BCB. He pulled me my Manning National Treasures auto, the only Broncos auto Manning I've got. So I'm forever in Marks' debt, and I thought he'd have a good joke.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear some folks come through. We've dipped down. I think some folks had to duck out, so I might have to run it back, and because I know all the savages on Twitter will fill my timeline with dad jokes. So we'll have to do that. I know we're gonna wind down here. And I know Scott, it's getting later in your neck of the woods than it is here. Oh, there. What are those, Drew Locks?
Here's a good joke.
Oh,
Noah Fant and Drew Lock.
Oh,
I got a thing for booklets.
Yeah, you do.
Booklet.
The best right here. This is actually my wife. She's got a sweet Emmanuel Sanders PC.
Nice.
She loves Emmanuel Sanders.
okay.
One time I reached out to him on Twitter, and he personalized 8x10 to her for Christmas. Says, "Dear Becky, too bad Chris found you first." It's like her pride and joy. She keeps it on her desk at work. I had Emmanuel Sanders hitting on my wife. It was great.
That's awesome.
We have a joke.
What?
So it says, what did the ocean say to the beach?
Yep, Scott's got it.
He waved.
Nothing.
Just wait.
I don't know.
You don't know this one?
Mm-mm.
I think I'll let Chris deliver the punchline since he's was the one that offered it up in the chat. So we'll wait with bated breath for the end. I know Scott knows that
Just
one.
making sure
I think we all,
Chris, and not me,
the guests
Chris.
all know that one. Will's waiting to hear the punchline on that. While we're waiting for the punchline, Tracy, give us an update. I think before we hopped on, you had mentioned what's going on with the roadshow stuff. Chris, I want to get an update on LJ's and give you a chance to promote them. And Scott, I know we touched on a little bit, but maybe you can tell us what kind of cool cars you got running through your car lots. So Tracy, fill us in. What's going on with the roadshow group?
Yeah, so Roadshow, obviously the Kentucky Roadshow has been open for a year and a half, doing well. A lot of excitement, seemed to be growing, had one of the biggest weeks in its short history the week before last. And then the other three, Texas Roadshow, California Roadshow, New York Roadshow, are all in various stages of being completed on the build out. Texas will probably be done first just because all we're waiting on with them is the city to inspect the electrical. And then once they green light that, everything will come up fast, paint, floors, everything. And then probably New York, followed by California, but all three should be open between the next 30 and 45 days.
I love seeing the Channels boys like the smiles on their face. They're at a game and they're Draymond signed this, and it's so genuine. And Jimmy's the same way. Like you see
the
them,
smiles are infectious.
These
absolutely
ear to ear, genuine smiles. I love seeing that. So that is exciting. I'm looking forward to that. It's still kind of one of those hobby bucket list things to check out one of the roadshow locations, and it'll happen hopefully sooner rather than later.
All right. So there's another joke that got posted in the chat. Fighting off excessive puns may lead to what? Excessive groans disease.
Oh, Garrett. I don't know. Will, let's see. So far, do you have don't say it. Do you have a favorite so far?
I do.
We've got two.
I
Okay.
do.
We've got two that have come in. Chris, tell us about LJ's. And I know, again, before we got on, we talked about it, but fill us in on what's going on there.
Yeah, so about a month ago, I actually 2 months ago now, I got approached by a guy I went to high school and college with. Name's Justin. He works over operations at LJ's Card Shop. He's like, hey, I see what you've done with Goldline cards. It's really awesome. Why don't you come over to LJ's Card Shop and have lunch with me? Turned into an amazing lunch, showed me some great stuff, and that turned into a job opportunity. I worked for my local government for 13 years, and a chance to go do something like this was an opportunity I just could not pass up. So I've actually started working there for just about a month now. I'm the social media marketer. So if you see LJ's Card Shop on Twitter, Instagram, I started a TikTok, or if you're on an email blast, that's all going to be me. I'm trying to be more interactive on the different social media platforms, because they really weren't very active at all. I mean, they have this incredible collection. We're talking like triple logo man stuff. Single logo man collection. Our owner has like just vaults of just incredible stuff that I get to like touch and look at every single day. And like, I can't believe how lucky I am that I get to do this for my life and my job and my livelihood now. Like I used to go to the parking lot and be like, I wish I could just go home. I don't want to go to work now. Like I can work from home, but I go to the office every day because I love it so much. These 8-hour days turn into 12-hour days because, how hard is it to sit home and like tweet or send out an Instagram message? So it's just, I cannot believe I get to do this for my life. And I'm just so incredibly blessed by this opportunity. But over the next 2022 and 23, we hope to get 2 different storefronts, because right now we're an online shop. We've got our website, eBay, and we do different deals online. And so we're hoping to get storefront here in Columbus, Ohio, but we already have 2, actually 3 now local card shops. We've got Ryan, a Card Collector 2 down in Grove City, and then our one here in Westerville is Triple Play. And we have really great working relationships with both of them. And Newhart Cards is about 20 miles north here in Delaware. So we don't want to infringe on, the relationships or the awesome things they're doing. So we're looking for a retail spot, not too close to them, but not too far out of the city, and make it a destination shop. We've looked a lot at the roadshow and what you guys are doing, and I'm hoping to get down there into Kentucky in the next month or so.
Come on.
Down with Ryan too, just to explore, meet you guys, figure out how we can, copy you, because not exactly copy, but you know what I mean? Like you are the cream of the crop. You are the destination. You are what people hope to be. And that's just kudos to you and your entire team for how amazing a job you guys done. And Ryan, a Card Collector too. I know you guys have a great relationship with him. Just the amazing stuff that you're able to do. We just want to share that community and try to help build that community as well. So that's really what we're trying to look to do here with LJ's.
That's awesome. That's really kind things you said. And we're all part of that positive community family, and whatever we can do to help y'all. And man, let's do it.
So Tracy, we're actually owned by a roofing company. So I was supposed to meet you in Las Vegas last weekend. They ended up sending a bunch of roofers to San Diego instead of sending me to Las Vegas. So I was like, I didn't get to go. But
I know. I was looking.
I'll definitely be. We've got a table at the National. We'll be out there for that. I'm hoping to get down to Collecticon in Charlotte in June. I went to the Orlando, and it was just awesome. I think I can bring a lot of information home from that to get more into the collectibles and Pokemon, and MetaZoo is huge now too. So to get just a whole different aspect to collecting besides just sport cards.
No doubt.
Awesome. I love Chris, and I know we talk a lot offline and through text and messages, and that's a big leap. You left something that was comfortable, but I knew that it stressed you out, and that's a hard thing to do. And knowing that you're doing something that you love, and that waking up every day isn't I gotta go to work. It's I get to go to work. That's awesome, man.
I can tell you right now that I don't think life has ever been as good for my family, my wife and kids as it is right now. That's, my wife got a new job. My kids are in school and happy, and just everything is this is the best it's ever been for us. We are all just super blessed and happy right now. And I think it's a lot to do with the hard work and dedication that everybody's put into everything that we're doing is finally paying off. Hard work does pay off. We'll stay in school, get good grades.
Yeah, he knows. He's got that under control. Scott, what's new? What are you looking forward to? What are you excited about?
Well, obviously we spoke, me and you, off air. Obviously, in my pre-season. So obviously your training camp for the NFL in the last week of that, I broke 2 bones in my foot. So the season started beginning of February. I've probably missed 6 or 7 games so far. I had to wear a boot for 3 months, which was very frustrating. My right foot as well, so I couldn't even drive my automatic car. So yeah, I've got the boot off and back training. My first target is probably the 23rd of April. We have a game Sunday, the 23rd of April. I'll miss a few more games now over Easter period. But so yeah, just a personal life, just looking to get back on that pitch competing. I went through my career not hardly getting any injuries whatsoever. Played probably 300 games since 2009, first grade. And then this last 2 years, I got a Liz Franks injury last year, which is the same what Travis Etienne put him out for the season. I've come back, and then in the off season, I've broke 2 bones in my foot. So it's been tough for me. It's tough because when you're paid to be a professional athlete and you want to be out on that field and results aren't going the right way, and you can see the fans are frustrated, disappointed, and you could affect the results if you was on that pitch. It's tough, but look, I'm really excited, super excited to get back out there. There's still going to be 2/3 of the season to go at and 2 trophies to play for. So I'm just staying positive. That's what I've been doing. I've got a good family, friends around me, kept me positive. I'm training harder than I ever have done. So yeah, looking forward to getting back out there on the pitch. And to be honest, this hobby's been a really good blessing and distraction for me. I've met some good friends from it. In the UK, obviously, we're nowhere near as big as you, and the UK market is definitely a bit tougher over here. But getting involved in BCB about a year ago and meeting people through that and Discord, and it's been a real good distraction for me the last 3-4 months. And yeah, there's a lot of people I have to thank.
I'm glad to hear that. Have things seemingly returned to normal-ish in the UK with regard to COVID, or is it still kind of crazy?
Yeah, it definitely has. And the biggest tell was I was probably doing 4 or 5 COVID tests a week from when it all started with rugby before we went into the training facilities like you probably saw with the American sports. I don't even want to tell you probably how many COVID tests I've had over the last 2 years. So the fact that from a few weeks ago, we don't have to do tests anymore, just to get in the training ground and out and about, we don't have to wear masks unless we're in obviously the hospitals or the care environment. So no, it's really returned to normal life now. Obviously, people are still being precaution and being smart and sanitizing, going into shops and stuff like that. But it's definitely back to normal life, and people can sort of get some of their lives back on track. It's been very tough for a lot of people out there, and it's good to have normality back in your life, because I think it's been a real massive effect with mental health and everything what comes out the last couple of years, and there's been a lot of people struggling out there. So it's great to see us get past this and move forward. We moved forward and got past that, and then they ended up being another. Then Russia obviously then plans to started invading Ukraine, and that's on the news now. And it's like, let's just see some positivity in the news for once. Looking forward to it.
Well, I'm glad to get that update. Not exactly going to be close, but we're doing a 15-year wedding anniversary trip to Ireland. So we'll get out there and play some golf. We're going to 2 other couples, and that actually was one of the questions that one of the other couples, about a month ago, was like, so what do you think this Ukraine? I was like, well, from a political standpoint, I think NATO is going to try and kind of keep it isolated as well. It's kind of with kid gloves, not to go down the political thing. So basically, I said I don't think it's going to impact our trip, and I'm hoping and praying that there's nothing escalates and gets worse, because if it does at that point, it's not going to matter if you're going to Ireland or you're going to Costa Rica. I think that's going to be a bigger issue. But
you'll definitely be safe, and you'll taste a very good pint of Guinness in Ireland. That's one of my go-to drinks when I like a drink, and it's the best Guinness in the world in Ireland.
But yeah, between that and the whiskey tours that my wife set up, and playing golf and seeing castles, and I couldn't be more excited to get over there. It's been, I think, 5 years ago since we were last over in Europe, and we wanted to go years ago, but the last 2 years have said that's not going to happen. But we saw that the Ireland had also loosened up on their COVID protocols as well. So yeah, we got a few more jokes trickling in. Yeah.
All right. So this one's from another Chris. What do you call a cheese that isn't yours? Nacho cheese.
Garrett came in with a second one. I like this one. So there's the joke. There's the punchline.
Why didn't the other underwear make it to the other side of the road? It got stuck in the crack.
That might be my Monday. That might be the one I use tomorrow for class. That's pretty solid. So one of my kids who's in the house doesn't want to come on, and he's messaging in the stream. So Scott, he was asking again, what's your club name again?
Hull FC in the English Super League. So yeah, it's cool. It's good. We're one of the only cities that have two rugby league teams as well in the same city. So you can imagine there's some good rivalry there. Obviously, you have a lot of big derbies. So yeah, Hull FC can catch us on obviously all socials and stuff like that.
Yep. So I've actually come across, I think, a handful of other Hull fans or your friends that are also Bronco fan. Like, it's been this kind of cool little niche. And it sounds like the Broncos are trying to push to get the game to play in the game against Jaguars.
Yeah, well, we definitely are, from what I understand. I've got a couple of friends who are obviously in the media, and they get contracts to cover the NFL in the UK when it's over, cover the coverage. And in our WhatsApp group, they've been saying, like, from everything they've been understanding, that we've been pushing to. I think we was meant to come over the first year of COVID, and it got that obviously all got cancelled. So I was absolutely devastated and thought we missed our chance. So I really do hope and pray, because I've not actually seen Denver Broncos live yet. So I'm absolutely desperate to catch Denver live.
But you did get to play a game in Mile High, though, right?
Yeah, I played in Mile High Stadium. It was
I saw that. That's incredible.
It was just a dream and just almost make believe. Obviously, I found out quite early on after the 2017 World Cup. We then got told that there'd be a test match in America the year after, in 2018, and then all of a sudden it was released that it'd be in Denver at Mile High. So I give it my all to make sure I try and make that England team again. So yeah, played against New Zealand at Mile High, won the game. Just a week, just going to the training facilities as well, seeing some of the lads train, going around the gym, the training fields, getting took all around the facilities, and obviously seeing all the men, and then training at the stadium, playing there. Unbelievable.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know collectively, that with this group that's on the stream today, and I know Scott and I had talked about this a while ago, and it probably has to wait until his playing career has wound down, which hopefully isn't anytime soon. But we do need to figure out, we got to get Scott over from the UK and hit a game in Denver, and come from all points and make that happen. Like that's got to be something that we sort out and we figure out how that happens. So
we got another joke.
oh, Gary's talking smack. Gary,
that's
There you
Gary's joke, isn't it?
is that his dad joke? That might be a winner.
Why did this scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field.
Oh, that's Gary's dad joke. Good call, Scott. So, Will, do you have a?
I do have.
He has a dad joke winner, folks. So, I think I know everyone that's been chatting. So I will once Will lets us know who it is, I will contact you.
I can
probably through Twitter, but
do it on this.
otherwise we'll get a hold of you. Who's your pick?
So
You gonna go highlight it? Which one? Okay. So Will's got Garrett going with that, and Garrett's awesome. He's also got a young son that's like right between my Will's age and Quentin's age. That's a collector and gives back to other kids in the hobby. So that's pretty cool.
Gonna
I know how to get a hold of Garrett. Yep.
read his dad joke one more time. Fighting off excessive puns may lead to what? Excessive groans disease.
Hold on, isn't Garrett a Chiefs fan?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
He stuck. I got to applaud him that he stuck with us this long. You know? That
He's owned us for what, 14 straight games, so he's got nothing but winners.
Yeah, it's been too long. It's definitely been too long. Well, guys, I want to be mindful of your time, and we definitely went a little over what I was expecting. I'm so thankful. Will is too, and Scott, thank you. I know it's getting late over there. I'm going to let you get off of here and get some rest. Tracy and Chris, till we meet again, my friends. Go Broncos, and I'm sure I seem to chat with all you guys behind the scenes anyway about what's going on Bronco wise. So. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Very appreciative of your time again, and we will see you guys later. Adios. Yeah. Take care.
Scott, Chris, Jamie, Will, thank y'all, man.
Yeah,
be good.
Thanks, Scott.
Enjoy WrestleMania. Jealous.
Go Broncos.
Thank you. Go Broncos.
Thank you.